Hi leaders, I hope you are all doing fine today. Okay, today we are going to discuss a little bit of how to describe data. Okay, let's say I give you a deadline of 1 million second. You have to submit the task or the assignment within 1 million second. I bet you are all confused. Yeah, you will be confused because you don't know what 1 million second is. Yeah. If I say 30 seconds, 90 seconds, you understand. But when I say 1 million second, you will be confused. I'm sure of it. Okay, but if I tell you that you have to deliver the assignment within 11 days, I think most of you will understand, yeah. So basically 1 million second and 11 days is pretty much the same, yeah. It is about 11 and a half days, yeah. I would say here is 11 days. So that's why this is very important, how to describe the data. Yeah? So what we want is what kind of information we put uh, have to be easily comprehended by the reader. So instead of using 1 million second, let's say we use 11 days. Yeah. So we will learn why it is important, yeah, to describe data. Okay. Okay, apart from this, I will discuss another thing. Okay, this is what you call bell curve or normal distribution. Okay, this is pretty important because most of the time data will be looks like this. Yeah. Okay, let's say we are discussing about the height of the female student in a class. Yeah. Okay. Uh, let's say most of the time or on average, the height of the female student is 150 centimeters. Yeah. So let's say these red line, yeah, one red line this here in the middle, in the center of the bell curve is 150. This is the average, and also the center line of the bell curve at the same time. Yeah. So in here, uh, yeah, most probably the height of the student in the height of the female student in the class will be like 150 centimeters, 151 centimeters, or 149, or 152 or 148 centimeters. Yeah. Uh, what what I'm trying to say is that most of them will height somewhere near 150. Yeah. You can say 150ish. Yeah. Okay, most of the time in the real world, the data is look like this. They are concentrated in the middle. Yeah. Okay, let's say your boss asks you to send him, let's say, only important data or few data about the sales. Uh, yeah, there is. So it is very important to tell him or to tell your boss that the data in the middle. Yeah, so what is in the middle is very important. For example, you can say what is the average sales for this month, what is the, let's say, mode, or let's say the median. Yeah, these three these three fact is very important in the statistic. Yeah, because what's in the middle really matters. Yeah. Okay, but what I want to tell you is that uh, please be very careful with the average or the mean. Yeah. Okay, let me give you an example. For example, if a new student, a new female student, join the class, let's say this is her. She is like 2 meters in height. Yeah, so she's very tall. She is 2 meters height, and she joined this class. Let's say the class only have 10 students, so the mean will be significantly changed. Yeah. However, the mode and the median will be still intact and will be still stay the same. Okay, let me give you more extreme examples. Let's say this is lectures of UMM. Let's say let's say in management there is 10 lectures of UMM. Yeah? Okay, the average net worth, or in Indonesia you can say kekayaan ya. The average net worth is 1 billion. Oke, jadi rata-rata kekayaan dosen UMM katakanlah 1 miliar ya net worth-nya. Okay, so from this we can tell that yeah, probably several lecturer have more income and more passive income, and then they can have much more than 2 billion, but not too far. Yeah, let's say some of them have 3 billion, but the other have only like a half billion. But the average is of these 10 lecture is 1 billion. Okay. However, something happened. Okay. Out of the blue, Tony Stark, the Iron Man, joined the club. He joined as a management lecturer, and now we have 11 management lecturers, right? Okay, and his net worth is 100 trillion. Okay, you can see the difference here. This one is billion, and this one is trillion. Okay, is yeah, more zeros. There is 5 more zeros in here. Yeah, trillion, from billion to trillion, there will be 3 more zeros, and this one additional 2 zeros. So total, he is like 100,000 times richer than the average. Okay, now we have new average. Yeah, the new average of the net worth of the management lecturer in UMM is now become 9 trillion. Okay, yeah, because yeah, you can say that now we have 11 lecturers. Before the total is 1 billion times 10 would be 10 billion. Yeah, and with the addition of Tony Stark, there will be 10 trillion plus 10 billion rupiahs, yeah, divided by the new number of lecturer will be 11. So let's ignore the 10 billion, yeah, because it's nothing compared to the trillion. So 100 trillion divided by 11 will be 9 trillion, right? Okay, so if someone don't know what happened before and after the Tony Stark joined the club, and they only knew the latest average, most people will think that, oh, like the new average, the average of the net worth of the lecturers in management UMM is 9 trillion. So their net worth, each of the lecturer probably like around 9 until 10 trillion, or some of them are 8 trillion, but that wasn't the case. Yeah, that is not the case. So what I'm going to ask you is that after Tony Stark joined the club, let's say I'm one of the 10 lecturers before and after, yeah, do I suddenly become richer? Let's say I have a 1.5 billion net worth, and the average is 1 billion, and maybe one of the lecturers have only half billion, yeah. So if we add, the average is 1 billion. So before I have a 1.5 billion net worth. After Tony Stark joined, do I suddenly become richer? No, I still have only 1.5 billion net worth. Yeah. So that's why if someone don't know what happened in here, and the new average is 9 trillion, okay, yeah, this information can be very, very misleading. Yeah, is very misleading. Yeah. So someone can conclude that maybe my net worth, because I'm one of these 11 person, maybe my net worth would be 9 trillion. Yeah, but I'm not. I'm only half billion, not trillion. Yeah, that's what my net worth is. Okay, let's say. Okay, so that's why I'm going to tell you that be very careful with the mean or average. Yeah, but however, mode and median is pretty much similar after Tony Stark joined the club. Mode, or in Indonesia you can say modus, yeah. it's the most frequently occurred data. Let's say many of the 11 lecturers has 1 billion net worth. So still, uh, this case is very rare. Yeah, Tony Stark case is very rare. So the mode is still 1 billion, let's say. And the median is what is the middle. Yeah, what is the middle data? Let's say if we rank from the smallest to the largest. Of course, Tony Stark will be the largest, 100 trillion, but the person who is in the middle most probably will still be uh, have net worth of 1 billion. Yeah, that's why we have to be very careful in describing data too. Okay, let's learn more about describing data. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, today we are going to discuss more about statistic for business and economic. Uh, this is chapter 2, describing data. Yeah, it's about the frequency tables, frequency distribution, and graphic presentation. Yeah. Okay, without further ado, let's go to the next slide. Okay, leaders, today here are the things that we are going to achieve. Okay, first, to summarize the qualitative variables with frequency and its relative frequency, and afterward, to display a frequency table using bar or pie chart. And next one is to summarize quantitative variables with frequency and relative frequency. So at first we are going to use qualitative, afterward quantitative, yeah. And the last one is to display frequency distribution using histogram or frequency polygon. Okay, uh, let's go to the next slide. This is our first learning outcome. Okay, we have to summarize the qualitative variables with frequency. Okay, so the first technique we are going to use here is that the frequency table technique. Yeah, so you have to group qualitative data into mutually exclusive and collective exhaustive classes, yeah, by showing the number of observation in each class. Okay, let's go to the example. Okay, for instance, this is the data. Okay, age is the age of the buyer. Profit is the amount of profit earned for each vehicle. Location is where the transaction happened. Vehicle type is the type of vehicle, like sport utility vehicle, sedan, compact, hybrid, or truck. And previous means that the number of vehicles of the buyer have ever bought before. Yeah? For example, if the previous number is 0, it means that this transaction is the first time for him to buy a car. Okay. For example, in here, the previous is 3, means that previously he have ever bought 3 cars before, and now this is the 4th car that he is going to buy, or he is buying, like that. Okay, let's say this is the basic sales data. This is the same as the previous slide. Okay, from here we can make this kind of data, sales per location. So we divide the sales based on its location. There will be in total 180 number of cars sold, and in each city, let's say this is city, yeah, Kane, the sales in Kane 52, and so on. Okay, and also we can make a relative frequency table sold per location. So from this data, okay, this is the original data, yeah. Okay, we can calculate the relative frequency, yeah. Let's say 52 divided by the total. Okay, and the result is 0.289 in decimal, yeah. This is the relative frequency of cane, yeah. So it is like 29%, yeah, if you call it in percent. Okay, this is the vehicle sales per type, yeah. Sedan, SUV, compact car, truck, and hybrid. And this one is the percentage of the type, yeah, the percentage sold, yeah, of each type, yeah. For example, 72 divided by 80 would be 40%, yeah, and so on. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to display the frequency table using the bar chart. Okay, we use this data. Okay, this is pretty much it. This is data, sales per location, yeah, in bar chart, and also in pie chart. We use a different type. We use this data, yeah, just to differentiate it. Okay, so we know that this is 100%, yeah. We use pie chart. This is the data, yeah. So let's say this sedan is 25% and so on, yeah. Sorry, sedan, yeah. Sedan would be 40% like that. Yeah, this is 40%. Okay. Okay, next we are going to construct frequency distribution, yeah. So it is quite different with the previous one, frequency distribution. Frequency distribution is a grouping of qualitative data into mutually exclusive classes showing the number of observation in each class, yeah. So previously we break it down by city or by the vehicle type. Now we are going to uh, collect the frequency distribution in each class. Okay. Okay, for example, Miss Catherine Ball, uh, Miss Ball want to this particular question be answered easily. First, what typical of profit in on each sales? Okay, what is the largest maximum profit on any sale and also the minimum profit? And around what value the profit tend to cluster? Okay. Okay, the solution first. Okay, we have to go to the raw data. This is the raw data of the previously presented data. This is the raw data, yeah. Okay, so this is the whole of profit of 180 transaction, yeah. It's in profit, yeah, only the profit. Okay, we have now the minimum is 295 and the maximum is 3,292. Okay, step one, first you have to decide the number of classes. Okay, how to do this? Okay, so we know that the data is 180. Just keep dividing it by 2 and count how many division can be made until the data is 1 or less than 1. Okay, that is the easiest way, yeah. Or you can also do this. 180 cells is about what is 2 power 8, 2 power n. So you find the n, but the n or the k, let's say k, the k has to be a little bit more than the number of cells. Okay, let's say if 2 to the power of 7 is 128, it is still less than 180, so we add one more. 2 to the power of 8 would be 256. So we use the class as 8. Okay, now we know that the class will be in 8 classes, yeah. The next step, we determine the class interval. Yeah, how to do this? We just use the largest data in here and the smallest data in here, and we use the number of classes. Yeah, now we have 374.79 dollar. Yeah, because to make the things much more convenient, we round up to 400. Yeah, to make things easier. Yeah, because people usually will easily understand more if the data is convenient, like rounded to the 100, let's say. Okay. Okay, next step, we have to set the individual class limit. We know that the that 400, yeah, the step in step 2 we have 400, yeah, and the number of classes is 8. If we multiply 8 with 400 with 300 and 3200, right? Okay, so we make this kind of classes. This is the middle, yeah, from 400 until 300, 3200. Afterward, we divide the 400 into 2, become 200, and we use the plus minus, yeah, the plus minus thing. So this is the middle, plus minus 200, and also the last one is 3200 plus minus 200. So the class would be like this: 200 until 600. Okay, this one should be 601, yeah, to avoid the mutual, to ensure the mutually exclusivity. So we have to avoid the overlapping, yeah. So 200 until 602 and 601 until 1000 and so on, yeah. So we have to avoid the overlapping, yeah. Okay, so this is the class, yeah. Okay, and step 4, we count how many of the frequency, yeah, on each profit. So we have this data. So as you can see, usually data is normally distributed. It means that it is clustered in the middle. It's concentrated in the middle. Yeah, this is pretty much a bell curve, yeah, but we do it vertically, yeah. Okay, next step. Okay, now we are going to do the last learning outcome. Display a frequency distribution using histogram or frequency polygon. Okay, histogram is a graph in which classes are marked on the horizontal axis and the class frequency on the vertical. So this is the important point. So the one on the horizontal is the classes, and the one on the vertical is the class frequency. So we rotate the previous data, yeah. That's pretty much it. Okay, for example, this is the data that we have collect. We have count the frequency, and this is the histogram, yeah. Now it looks like this, the curve bell, yeah. The important data usually concentrated in the middle, yeah. Okay, so middle data is very important. Okay. Okay, from the histogram made, we can easily conclude that first, the profit of vehicle range between 200 and 3,400. Okay, and the vehicle profits are classified using interval of 400, just like the class interval we have discussed. And the third one is the profit are concentrated between these three classes, yeah. I think this is three classes, or yeah, but three classes between 1000 and 3000, and 87% of the transactions is located in this range, yeah, or 157 transaction, yeah. And fourth, for each class, we can determine the typical profit, yeah, by using the midpoint. For example, if the class is between 200 and 600, the midpoint is 400, right? So the last thing, the largest concentration or the highest frequency of the vehicle sold is in the class of 1100 up to 2200. So this class has midpoint 2000. So we can say that the typical profit in the class with the highest frequency is 2000 or 2K dollar. Okay, I hope this can help you to understand more. Thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.